Hey, hey. Wow, this is the Saturday after?
The Saturday after.
The Saturday after. You know what's great nowadays is there's no Black Friday craziness. Remember maybe 10 years ago, rushing to wherever, Best Buy, it doesn't matter. The crowds were bad, the lines were long, the parking was impossible, and the deals, well, they were okay, but it's like you didn't want to deal with it. Now you just go online, click a button, and you don't like it, you just return it. But it's so much better now, I think.
Yeah, we actually went in to Best Buy on that Friday, on Black Friday for a bit. It was crazy. I have some footage of it. It's pretty funny. Boxes to the ceiling. Just there was so many TV boxes, but they said at Best Buy, I went back there recently and they said it was not nearly as busy as previous years. Excuse me.
And I assume not busy at the store, but their website must
Right.
have gone crazy because we saw how
Exactly.
many of these things sold out, right?
Yeah, that's what I forgot to mention that. They had a lot of online purchases.
Yeah. And I know, I'm sure they set records and stuff online. Now, what I had, the video I had actually at the end of Black Friday was there were no additional deals to be had. You notice that? The best deals were actually in October. They didn't even come back to some of those October deals on Black Friday. So that led me to say, wait, that's kind of changed how we approach things because I didn't see anything better from Samsung on Black Friday that they didn't already put out there in October and in September in some cases, right? So what are your thoughts on that? Is this a permanent change? Do you think this is related to the craziness of the supply chain issues we have this year?
It could have been part of the supply chain issues. I think they're it seems like people or companies are trying to get out in front and just they're trying to sell product. Maybe it's so competitive now that they're just having to get out in front of it, but it definitely seemed like they're getting more aggressive each year with the pricing, but then it's also been the last couple of years of the pandemic and then now the supply chain issues.
Yeah.
So it's been weird.
Now what so for those who are joining us, I just want to go over what we saw on Black Friday. And this is what you should be expecting when it's 2022. So right now we're in a dead period between Black Friday and 2022. You'll see these prices again eventually, hopefully before anything goes out of stock permanently. But if you were wondering, for some context, the kind of deals you had expected to get and you got, even if it's only for a few days, but most of October and November, I saw these deals come and go. And right now, some of these deals are still available. So this is my favorite deals right now. If you guys haven't bought or you decided to buy, but then the deals are gone, check out these deals real quick for everybody. Hisense is still a good price. TCL prices have gone back up again by $100. Hisense is still keeping their Black Friday prices through October and November and this month as well. So 650 for the 55-inch U7G. I think this makes it a great deal considering the TCL 6 series has gone back up in price. And the 5 series for $1,000, 75-inch, I think is definitely a great deal for a 75-inch TV with decent picture quality. This is my favorite deal, still available. Clearance, brand new TVs. These are last year's Sony 4K flagship LCD TVs, 65 inches for just over 1400. Better picture quality than the X90J. So for an extra $200, you're going to get better color, better saturation, contrast, just everything overall is better anti-glare. The only difference is that it doesn't have the 2.1 gaming features that a lot of people want. But I think if you're getting a Sony, that should not be a reason to get a Sony. So I wouldn't even worry about it. If you're watching movies, sports, streaming, this TV will be fine for most of you. And my favorite deal right now, the A8H 65-inch OLED for $1,500. This gets you into the OLED. It gets you Sony accuracy out of the box. No, it's not super bright, but for most people, it actually is bright enough in a moderately lit to dim room. This is fine. Color accuracy is great. The A80J is a touch brighter. Average picture levels is a teeny bit brighter, and maybe it's near black, might be a little bit better. However, overall, the A8H shares all the qualities that all Sony OLEDs have, which are great upscaling, great motion, color accuracy out of the box. And then with that, at $1,500 65 inch, it would either be this TV If it's not bright enough, then the one above it, this one. So I think these two TVs, phenomenal prices, in case you guys were wondering. All right.
Those are good. Good stuff.
It is great. Yeah, definitely.
What's up, Ninjishin AV? Hey, make sure if you guys can hit the like button, obviously that would be useful. Appreciate it. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. How's going on, everybody? Spillage Village. I thought I saw him up there. Wasn't I seeing it? Maybe I didn't. Oh yeah, there it is. Brian T. Craig Dirkjan.
Craig Dukjan.
I had ice cream before. I already had a chocolate shake today. It's not even 12:30. We had to stop and get some food, so I splurged. That's why my throat. Keep coughing.
Well, you know, as long as it's just coughing from an ice cream, it's all good, right?
Yeah, definitely. You excited for the football? I saw the USC hat. New coach coming in.
I'm excited for next year. We've written off this year. It is what it is.
New
but
coach.
I love the drama, right? I mean, Oklahoma is in flames. I am so excited to see who they hire, honestly. And how about Brian Kelly going to LSU? That was a surprise to me. I wasn't surprised by Oklahoma to USC because USC was willing to pay whatever. But Brian Kelly leaving Notre Dame, I think is big news.
Yeah. $100 million will make that happen.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know what the obvious play is? Notre Dame hiring Cincinnati's current coach. That's the obvious. I think they're going to do that. I would be surprised if they didn't because it works so well with Kelly. Why not another Cincinnati coach, right?
Be good stuff.
Definitely. Great stuff. Now, I also want to kind of hit next year's TVs a little bit because a lot of people are holding off on 2022 TVs, wondering what's coming up, or holding off on 2021 and waiting for 2022. And I just want people to know that the image quality in 2022, unless you're willing to pay premium for something like a QD OLED, it really is about just better deals at larger sizes, right? So if you guys are waiting, then make sure you know what you're waiting for, which is you want to get a larger size for a little bit less. And that, I think, honestly, is where a lot of the focus for a lot of these companies are, is they're trying to get their production efficiency up and running. They're trying to get people larger TVs for less. They may be cutting corners, by the way, to get to that price point, but just know what you're getting into. We've been kind of circling this performance level for the last 2 years now. So even from 2019 to today, among OLEDs, it isn't a huge jump. Just minor improvements for those of you looking for such improvements. Oh, here we go. Hey, our old friend TechMed Rainer Richter. How are you, my friend? I see you're staying up late in Germany, but not too late, right? We are starting a little bit early for you. Hey, how are you enjoying your QN900A? Turns out that this is, to me, a sleeper hit. A lot of people thought it was great, but a bit overpriced. But turns out it's getting a lot of rave consumer reviews. So hopefully you're enjoying your TV, man.
Yeah, he said that early on, man. He was telling us a long time ago.
Yeah,
that was it.
Yeah, definitely. And let's see
I
here.
forgot to put this. Also, you guys, I'm sure you're aware that the big old crypto crash last night, huh?
Hey, tell us about that. What happened? Because I'm not into as crypto as you are.
Someone liquidated. I guess someone liquidated like $1.25 billion in long positions. So it sent the market down. There's a lot of FUD going on anyway, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. So it wasn't
right.
Like it needed a lot. It was kind of borderline. But yeah, it was pretty crazy. A lot of people panicking, but I took the opportunity to get some more.
All right. Yeah. Now, do you buy fractional shares of Bitcoin, or you're buying other stuff?
I buy everything. You can get like any amount of it, but I actually kind of saw it starting to happen, and I liquidated some of mine, and then I bought back at a much lower position. So I ended up scooping up some more in that way. I just sold early and then bought when it was low.
I think Ethereum still has a future, obviously, because of their contract angle. But it's interesting. A lot of people don't realize there are a few whales holding Bitcoin, Ethereum, and those things, right? And because so few people hold it, every time they liquidate, man, it shocks the market. And the good news is more smaller owners come into it
Oh
and
yeah,
they liquidate. So that helps stabilize the market over time.
absolutely.
Yeah, but we're still too early. There's still too many individuals holding way too much Bitcoin for stability, I think. This is a great comment from RJ Double. I want to remind everyone. So, hey guys, finally pulled the trigger on a 55-inch C1. Wanted a 65-inch, but don't have the room, unfortunately. Nonetheless, a big upgrade from my 55-inch C7. And the reason I like this comment is I believe the 55-inch size is probably the best deal out there, given the cost and everything. The 48-inch is a bit overpriced relative to the 55. The 55 is a sweet spot. If it's a good size, a good distance for you, it is a great price when you get into OLED at the 55-inch. I had a 55-inch I think it was the C10, it was 55-inch, and I didn't have to. The differences aren't that huge. I'd rather go from 55 to 75 or 77 than 55 to 65 because I think they're so close that the 55 is fine for most people if you're sitting within 6 to 7 feet anyway. What are your thoughts on the open box thing? Because I know you work with a
Yeah,
lot of people.
I'm gonna make a video on that.
Oh
But
yeah, that's
yeah,
right.
I'm a big fan of open box. I like it.
Okay.
I think that you can get really good deals. Now, right now, I went over to Best Buy. There weren't that great of TVs there. I did see an X90J 75-inch. I think it was like 1,400.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you can get them down. It didn't have a box or a stand. So
like I carried it in.
yeah, no, it was just sitting on like one of those carts that can hold like 6 things. There was like 6 TVs stacked on it separately. So, you got to go in there and look and make sure that like there's no scratches on it. You got to make sure that they'll give you a warranty or whatever. But then if you can get that, you got a remote, you're going to wall mount it anyways. Then you can get them down to maybe $1,000 for a 75-inch or something. There's options. They don't want to keep those TVs forever.
And the question for you, Mr. Experience, what is a red flag? So if I'm shopping open box, obviously I don't know what to look for to avoid. If there was one thing to avoid when looking at open box, what is that one thing they should be looking for that if they see it, I'm walking away?
I don't know. I think like physical damage, obviously,
I feel crack on the screen.
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously that, but like if you see like just like beat up marks on the back of it, or if the box is all beat up. I mean, I actually take the TVs out and look at it and make sure it's like legit. But I'll take one without a remote, save $500 and then buy a $20 remote, or if it doesn't have the cords, there's a lot of different.
Well,
there's a lot of different things.
A good question is, how's the return policy on these open box deals? Is it non-returnable? Can you return it in 30 days if you bring it home and it doesn't turn on?
Which TV is that? I'm sorry.
Open box, just open box TVs.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Best Buy.
The Best Buy, like they have the same warranties for the most part. You have your like 14, or if you're like a Best Buy Elite, you have 45 days. Or now I think all of them have until after the first of the year, or end of even January, I think.
Right.
So you have all that time to bring it back. Yeah, if you take it home, it doesn't turn on. You can bring it back. But yeah, I check it out. I connect everything. Like the story that I'll have in my video is about me getting the KS8000, and it didn't have a one connect box. So it, so I had to take another, there was a 3D curve, like, and that was like 1,200. And the one that I wanted was like 900, a 55-inch KS8000. So I took the one connect box out of the other one, the curve, and I tried it with this one. It worked. And I think I took the remote from that one too. And I laid it all out in the store, connected it, got it to power up. Everything was working. And I'm like, okay, now I'll take it for $700. And they gave me a $1,200 TV that was marked down to like $900 for $700. And that's how I did it.
Did they give you that one connect box you pulled from the curve?
Yep,
or
absolutely. And so now that one didn't have a one connect box, like at least they sold a TV. So if you go in there with some salesman skills, you can get some deals for sure.
Right. And did it help that you maybe have known one of the Best Buy sales? Like, did you have any familiarity with the staff?
At that point, I just told them I was a TV installer. So like they were like allowing me to open it, but they want to sell them. They'll let anyone take the stuff out of the box and check it. Yeah, for sure. But I think it was definitely helpful for me to have the skill set that I've already installed TVs to go in there and check that the TV was functional. You know, like I was able to, like, I don't know how many people would be like, most people would take that TV home and not realize it even had a One Connect box and then be like, crap, now I have to return it. So I knew,
know, right? It's like,
I
wait,
could see on
where
the
do I
back of the
plug in?
TV, right? The
You know,
HDMIs are not on the back, and then it gets a little confusing if there's no HDMI cords.
and it comes with a remote, and you push the remote,
Yeah,
and
there's
the
nothing
power.
happening.
Where's the
Yeah,
power button? Right,
and
the power cord.
Those did have, because now like the QN 900 or it doesn't have a power cord. These did have a power cord. So you had a power cord, you'd plug it in, but no One Connect wire, so you'd be like completely screwed. So you just make sure, you know, I mean, most of the TVs don't have that anymore. So now you just gotta, you know, make sure, check for physical damage, take the TV out of the box, make sure it powers up. You know,
what do you think about an extra 7% for a 2-year warranty? You know what? With the new Total Tech support, Craig, you get an automatic 24-month coverage for all TVs you buy. Now, double check for open box TVs. I'm not certain, but if you're a Total Tech support member anyway, any TV you buy, for as long as you're a member, you're going to get up to 2 years of warranty coverage, where it's a Geek Squad support warranty, where they'll replace or repair as necessary before you have to get to the manufacturer. So if you're a Total Tech person, yeah, maybe it's totally worth it to try the open box because you're covered, right?
yeah.
A lot of confusion here, everyone. So the QN84A is Best Buy's version of the QN85A. First, what's the difference between the QN84 and the QN85? The QN84 lacks the audio power of the QN85. Now, the QN84A only comes in a 75-inch. No other sizes that I know of. And again, it's an exclusive to Best Buy. Best Buy found a way to make it slightly cheaper to get a QN85A with weaker audio, so to speak, right? I think it's like 40 watts versus 60 watts is not a big deal. The big deal is what you're asking, the difference between the QN84A and the QN98, which is the difference between an ADS panel, which is like an IPS like LG, and the VA panel, which means the VA panel in the QN98, you will get deeper blacks, maybe a little bit better color saturation. On axis, if you're looking straight on the TV, you're probably not going to see a huge difference. Now, off axis, that's when you're going to start seeing blooming and lifted colors, more color shifting. So you really have to check out the content you watch. A lot of people have the QN84A and they love it. And a lot of people watch off angle and they see the blooming and they hate it. QN98 overall is the better TV because it is more expensive, but you're looking at more dimming zones and a VA panel basically. But they're both mini LED technology backlighting TVs, and they both get super bright, and they both have anti-glare. So if the QN84A works for you, it's a phenomenal TV. All right. Hey, Brian, thank you for the super chat. When will it be a good time to buy a Z9J? So the good news is the Master Series that are not OLEDs, like the Z9J, the 8K, Sony tends to price very aggressively the following year. However, they sell out pretty quickly, even at their premium pricing after discounts. So the best time to look for a Z9J, I would say, would be during the spring. This year, by Prime Day, a lot of the Z8H or Z8G, I forgot, I've lost track, Z9H or whatever, the previous 8K LCD TV from Sony that wasn't quite Master Series, that sold out before Prime Day. We expect the same of the Z9J. So if you are looking for it, what you need to do, reach out to Robert Zone at Value Electronics. Let him know you're interested. And when the price hits the price that is the best that you're going to see, he'll let you know if there's any in stock and you can pick it up. Otherwise, these things go pretty fast the following year once they hit their discounts because people really do want that Z9J. All right, let's see here. What do we think will bring what will Samsung bring next year? Oh, I had a video out on this, and I tell you, I don't think the 4K TVs are going to improve much. I think it's going to be much of the same, if not worse. I believe Samsung will add even more ADS type panels, the non-VA panels, right? The IPS style panels to their lineup because they saw how people loved the QN85A, even though it's a VA panel. They're like, wait a minute, There's no complaints. We're saving money with this IPS panel or ADS panel, so they're going to release more of them next year in their lineup because they can make more money on the less expensive ADS style panel than on the VA panel, because the VA panel is a little bit more expensive.
How
So
much? How much more? What do you think?
I think it's
If you had to,
the price difference between the
price difference?
85 and the 90, basically,
Yeah.
because the number of dimming zones isn't a big deal. Because at first I thought maybe it was a supply chain issue, but I'm seeing more and more of this ADS IPS movement all across the range, like
Maybe they're
hisense or
just
whatever.
easier to make too, or maybe isn't there a factory? Who has the factory that does those?
Okay,
Is
so
it LG Display and TCL or just LG Display?
LG only makes IPS style panels, and AUO and other factories also make it as part of their lineup, their range. And I believe the IPS is almost exclusively for monitors. They have some VA, but most people in the monitor world prefer IPS, so it's not a big deal. But bring it to the TV recently has been a thing because a lot of people wanted VA in the past, which has been the case because it has great deep blacks. The perceived contrast is a bit better and it works really well with local dimming algorithms. But with everyone moving to cheaper and larger, IPS panels gets you cheaper and larger fast. Like boom, you're there just by exchanging the panel type. Like the Hisense U7G, right? 75 inch, $1,200. Hey, we're there. But then in that case, we're recommending the TCL5 series, which is still a VA panel for only $1,000. And that's the case. So it really depends on what you want. If you're looking at SDR and you don't have full array local dimming, I think the VA looks better than IPS. IPS looks really bad, I think, without full array local dimming to help with the contrast. But let's see what else is Samsung. QD OLED, obviously, super expensive though. I think it's for first adopters. I mean, I may not even get it. If Sony offers it, the QD technology, I'd rather get that before I get the Samsung. But if it's only Samsung that's coming out with it next year, it really depends on the price. If it's under 10 grand, I'll probably go for it. If it's over 9 grand, man, that's just not worth it. Hey, Mike, thank you for the super chat. QN98. So I had my motherboard replaced. Mentioned last week, not the issue, not firmware either. The cable box and the HDMI one was tripping. HDMI ER3 port. Sounds crazy, but found the issue on internet. Thanks. Wow, Mike, that must have been some crazy troubleshooting because when people have an issue, you have the cable that they're telling you, oh, you got to replace the cable. Then is it the device? You got to replace the device. And at the very end, you find out it's your HDMI port. So great that you found a solution. Let us know, Mike, what did you go through before you came to this conclusion? Like in your troubleshooting, did you try everything? Replace the cables, replace your devices, then finally it's the TV? Because nobody wants to assume it's the TV at first, because if you do, it's just a nightmare if it's a large TV, especially. Thanks for sharing. Hey, Mr. Wolde, thank you for the super chat. If returning a 75 or 77-inch TV, will Best Buy come inside your house, remove it from a stand, pack it up, and haul it away? It depends if you have the Geek Squad warranty. So the answer is absolutely if you have the warranty. Now, if you are a Total Tech member, I believe they also do that, but they will not do it at the 65-inch and smaller. So 75-inch and above, if you have the extended warranty like Geek Squad, or if you're a Total Tech Support member, within that period, yep, the first 2 years, give them a call. That's what I've been told about a year ago. I don't think that's changed because that's one of the reasons why I'm going to buy my larger TVs from Best Buy. Well, in this case, I bought my 83-inch TV and I have Brandon who's going to take it off and bring it back. But other than that, yeah, I recommend you go through Best Buy. It just makes it so much easier. If it's a couple $100 between Best Buy and someone else, having Best Buy do it, it saves so much trouble. Just in case you lose the panel lottery. It happens. Do we think that LG will put a heatsink on the C series this coming year? That's a good question. I don't think so because here's my theory. The C series is their budget lineup. The B and the A technically is even more budget, but I think they cut it down way too much. So the C series is the value premium. Having a heatsink raises it up into the G series level. So I think they're going to have another series. Maybe they will reintroduce an E series because G is gallery, right? You want to hang it on the wall. It's going to be like the frame. So somewhere in that expensive, the frame type premium, you're going to have a heatsink to compete with a Sony Master Series. The C series doesn't need it. It's a great TV as is. This
Yeah,
is
it
the
is.
gamer's budget TV, and gamers don't need a heatsink, honestly. I think it's bright enough, and they can always upgrade and get the premium, whatever new series is introduced with the heatsink. But I suspect that the heatsink will be reserved for their G series level or higher, right? Because the G is still that gallery art series, so to speak. Good question.
And some people are saying, and you said budget. C series is like the mainstream. Like it's the
Yeah.
I think it's the most popular OLED in the world, isn't it? And
Yep.
so
Yep.
I mean it is the mainstream. If they added a heatsink to all those panels for everyone in the world, think about it. They couldn't sell them at Costco because it'd be another 500 to 1,000. You know, like it's just
Yep.
too expensive. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Not meant to imply that it's inexpensive, but it's their mass appeal model lineup. And the heatsink, if you watch, hey, Cassie, thanks for coming by. If you watch Classy's videos, if you watch KG's or mine, you're going to notice the comparisons. You'll be like, huh, the A90J is this much better with the heatsink. This much better is only worth it to some people. So you don't
Yeah.
want to affect the cost of an entire mainstream model with a heatsink where it doesn't have to be there. I don't
It
think LG
is.
needs a heatsink. Yeah, the G1 has no visible image retention already. It gets to OLED. Yeah, and maybe they won't. That's another thing is we thought they would, but if LG can get away with not having a heatsink while keeping its prices competitive, maybe they won't. That's something also to consider. Xiaomi, interesting. So the USA does not carry Xiaomi products because there's a lot of lawsuits pending for IP theft.
Uh-oh.
So generally speaking, I would be surprised to see Xiaomi enter the USA. The minute it enters the USA, it's going to be attacked by, you name it, Apple and everyone. So yeah, Xiaomi, they have to take care of business before they enter the USA anytime soon when it comes to like major products. Maybe a headphone or two on Amazon, but I don't expect Xiaomi anytime soon in the USA. Doesn't mean that their stuff isn't good. It's just we're not going to have access to it. Hey, what's happening in Greece? How's the weather over there, my friend? Hey, you think that background he's sitting there, that's his actual background? Is that a green screen? That looks really relaxing. Is that the coast?
Maybe vacation. Maybe, yeah. Maybe, I
Vacation,
don't know.
right? Hey, hello from Greece. Help me. Which 4K TV is the best for budget under $500? TCL 5 series. That's it. TCL 5 series. That is, I will not go any lower than the TCL 5 series. It has everything you need. It's a budget TV. I don't know if Europe carries the 5 series, but in the USA, the 5 series is just under $500, I believe, for the 55-inch, $450. Phenomenal TV for the price. Everything you need. You could have the Google TV version. I think it's great. Classy did a great review on it. Catch his review. We think for the budget, don't go lower than the 5 series. Anything beneath that, you're just asking for pain and suffering. All right. So for those of you, now that Black Friday is over, next year, this is exactly what you have to keep in mind. Things come and go so quickly on Black Friday. Like I put up some deals, they were all gone by the time it came up. We were like, wait a minute, where'd they all go? Like, what? So I need to also time my videos faster. They come and go, these deals, because I did a Cyber Monday video and the deals were no longer available. So now some of the deals are still there right now, namely the Sony A8H for $1,500 and the X950H for $1,400. They're still out there on Best Buy, but the A8H, by the end of today, it'll be gone. So if you want an entry level, and a $1,500 OLED that's rock solid out of the box, close to accurate color accuracy, the Sony A8H 1500 is a good deal. Now you could always wait for the C1 and the A80J to drop to that price next year, because I suspect it'll be at 1500 this time next year as well. So as always, the longer you wait, the cheaper you get. Hey, thanks for adding this bit of info. So Best Buy will take it off the wall, but you must schedule that as a service when doing the exchange. Ask me how I know. You and me both. As a total tech support member, for 50 bucks, they'll take anything off the wall. So I have them take off stuff off the wall all the time because frankly, I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to bring in friends to help me with it. $50 is a deal for total tech support members. I'm not getting paid for my Best Buy to say that. It's just $50 for peace of mind. They bring a team of 2 people, they will handle it. No back pain. So yeah, absolutely. I agree. All right.
Andy has a good comment here.
Yeah,
Did we put it up?
Yeah, here we go. Hey, Andy, thanks for the
Appreciate
super
it,
chat.
Andy.
Hey, any news if the 65-inch X95J will ever go on sale? Yes, I know it will go on sale because the 950H went on sale and the 950G went on sale, which are all the predecessors to the 95 series from Sony. It's just that Sony released it so late in the year. We're talking what? September
Yeah.
release, right? That's insane. It will definitely go on sale. I expect it to drop just like you guys saw. The 950H is only 1400, right? So this time next year, 95J 65-inch will likely be around 1400. So, yep, definitely. It's just going to take a while now. And Andy, you're killing me. I haven't watched Harry Potter yet. This is his question every single time.
What, like any of the Harry Potter movies or what?
No, the remastered 4K, which you see
Oh,
behind me. It's up there as a reminder. As long as it's up there, Andy, that means I haven't opened it yet. And every time I see it, I'm like, oh, I need to watch the remastered 4K Ultra HD. I'm being told it's very well done. And you know what? I will watch it to compare it in the Kaleidoscape version as well, because I think it's important to see if there's any big differences. And
I went on this whole thing with Chana about how to get like my media on my computer, you know, like all of my, well, media, mostly storage though. Like I needed to get offload some of my videos. So I was talking to him about those like $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 like NAS drives and stuff. You can put like all your movies on and all that. And then he's like, yeah, or just get like a hard drive. And I ended up getting like $150, like 8 terabyte hard drive. So I'm like, screw it. Yeah, I'll figure that out later. But that's just complicated to get like the, you know, movies, get them ripped, downloaded, have it all on network so you can watch movies off your TV, you know.
So this is a great intro to Kaleidoscape for me is you could do all the work and get it perfectly tuned in, but it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of know-how. Or you could work really hard, make a lot of money, and get a Kaleidoscape for the lazy people, right? And so that's my approach. My approach is I want to work really hard, make a lot of money, and then let Kaleidoscape do all the work. So there is no right answer, but definitely for the lazy people like me, now that I've seen how Kaleidoscape works, I'm not going to do this whole ripping business. Because Chana helped me rip my Blu-rays because I was doing audio analysis through the rips and color analysis. I'm like, man, I am so glad that I don't have digital copies of everything. It's just too much work. It is way too much work converting all the codecs and everything. So, but for those of you who enjoy it, more power to you. It's just for me, I just rather find a way to make more money and buy a Kaleidoscape and just let them deal with it, honestly. And so, here's a good point that review for the Tube made. LG states their C series is their flagship 4K. Just the G is there as a gallery or the art series. Yeah, that's true. I mean, they're trying to, right? But remember in the past, wasn't there an E series that was their premium lineup with their special one connect box type things you could put in the wall, right, or whatever. But yeah, I think the C series is fine. I think this year, though, there's a question as to whether it's truly their flagship because not all of them have the Evo panel, whereas the G series, all of them did. And we all know that you could push that Evo panel on the G series harder. And LG was very adamant that the C series did not have the Evo panel. It was just a 2021 panel, whereas that whole Evo stack is unique to the G series. And by doing that, LG is really saying the G series is their flagship. But maybe next year, all the C2s will have that Evo stack because by separating Evo between G and C, they've essentially said that the C is not their flagship. So I think in the past it was the same, but this year they screwed up with that definition of the Evo. And hey, they have no one to blame but themselves, honestly. But yeah, that's a great insight there, buddy.
Here's a cool comment. Classy's shopping list for next year. Some decent TVs there. Everyone's having a wow moment at it.
Hey, so let's go through this shopping list. The 34-inch QD OLED. You know what? If that QD OLED ends up being like 6 or 7,000, I might just go for the 34-inch because I don't need the extra 55 and make that my monitor, right? Because we all know OLED's a great monitor, and the current 42-inch LG monitor is about 3 to 4,000 anyway. So I don't mind going smaller and paying 5,000 because 42-inch is a little bit large, right? So I was talking to this specialist. They build these amazing stand-up tables, and they were designing this arm to hold multiple monitors, and they designed it. It's called iMover, and they designed it for airline controllers, airplane controllers, cockpit controllers, and or cockpit stimulators and 411
Cockpit
call
stimulators. That
simulators.
That sounds weird.
This is not a Manscaped advertisement.
This
please.
is not a. We're not talking about a vibrator either. So, anyways.
So they he did it for 411 and 911 and day traders where you have 6 on top, 6 on the bottom, and he had to make sure it's optically even so that when you turn your head, and he said the problem with anything greater than 34 inches is at the extremes, your vision is not correcting properly. I mean, it's like you're going to get eye strain. It needs to be angled perfectly. And so he was recommending don't go larger than a certain size. And obviously 42-inch is a bit large for that. And so 34-inch might end up being the perfect size for 4K, given the distance, the arm's length distance that we do our work in. So yeah, you're spot on there. I think the 34-inch QD, maybe from Sony, right? I'd choose that first. 83-inch G2. Oh, you know how much that's going to be classy. So love that shopping list. Or 97-inch OLED, if reasonable, I could tell you right now, it's going to launch at between 15 and 20,000, somewhere there. So if you consider that reasonable, let your wife know. Start saving up, my friend. So MSRP will be 15 to 20,000, somewhere there. And 65-inch Sony replacement A80J. I'm curious to see if they will even replace the A80J. If you guys notice, Sony tends not to. It feels like they go every other year sometimes on their OLED. That's just a feeling I get. So I don't know. I think the A80J is phenomenal, though.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll go all Evo, like the 77-inch A80J, and allow the 65 and the 55 A80J for 2022 to be as good as the 77-inch. Maybe that's their upgrade, right? So the best deal next year would be the 77-inch A80J. So yeah, that's great.
I'm pretty certain I'm gonna have a 97-inch OLED if they make one. I'm not gonna I probably won't buy it. I'll probably work with a partner and find it. I know where I can get it.
Work with Robert Zone at Value Electronics.
Well, or might get it directly from Sony. Maybe get like a
you're right there,
unboxing
HQ
or something.
There you go. You know what?
I think that's gonna happen. I got to plan that out.
You know what you need to do is reach out to TCL again and see if they'll let you do the 85-inch Ridrian instead of the 85-inch OD0 instead of the 85-inch XL job you got.
That 745 was all right. It was rough. I mean, I have to say, like, I had a few TVs that were disappointing to me this year.
Okay.
The QNED 99 definitely disappointing. And then that TCL was a little disappointing. Now it was good that you guys all enjoyed the 646. I still haven't even reviewed that. I'd like to see it because sometimes it's just hard with the larger TVs. Oh, I will tell you one thing that I did like. Holy cow. That 100-inch X91J is wow. That is a pretty sweet TV, dude.
Oh, where did you see it? Oh, at the
headquarters? At Best Buy.
Okay, so let's talk about that. This is so interesting to me, and I think Sony screwed up on their branding for this one. And hey, congratulations! Getting a new TV is always awesome. And just real quick, if you missed it, what did we say? Under $600, TCL 5 Series. Get the 5 Series. That's your best budget movie watching TV. Doesn't matter that it's 60 hertz native. It's good enough for motion for that budget. So TCL 5 Series, Google TV, phenomenal. And if you have anyone to ask, particulars, Classy did a review on it. Check out his video. I agree with him. This is a great value. Okay. So this is where I think Sony screwed up. on the X91J marketing. Even Robert Zone was led to believe that the X91J is just
Or
a 100
X92.
inch
Is it
version.
X92J
Oh,
or
92J, 92J, I'm sorry.
yeah?
So the X92J, right?
Thanks,
The
Justin.
100 inch is the X92J. So Robert Zone was even led to believe that the X92J is just a large version of the X90J, right? Because, X90, 92, 91, very close. And most importantly, the numbering is below the X95J. Turns out it appears that this is the backlight on this may be better than the X95J.
It is.
So it should be the X97J or
It should, yeah.
X96J, right? And I'm
Or
like,
how about a X100J since it was 100 inch?
absolutely anything but
100 X100J would have sold the crap. Now they are selling. I heard they have sold a few at Best Buy, but I went into that theater room. I mean, first of all, the thing's like 6 inches thick. I mean, it's
Yeah.
got the screen is like 2 inches, and then it has a big it's got a big air something on the back,
Mhm.
like it's got air, flowing through it or something. But it has a big bulky spot at the top and the bottom.
Mhm.
And you can see I have some footage on my phone. I took a little footage, but it looks brighter than the X95J. It looks more uniform, and it does have really good anti-reflective coating too. Like I shine my light right on it, and it was like very similar to like the old Samsungs that were not quite as aggressive, but kind of
Right.
like the X95Js.
Absolutely. And so this is why what you just said, 6-inch thick. This is why people are saying, wait a minute, is this the backlight master drive without being called the backlight master drive? It looks like it's a direct LED with hundreds of LEDs. Basically, Sony has not revealed how many dimming zones, but based on what people are seeing in person, including Brian, Whisper Status, and yourself, the fact that it outperforms the X95J leads us all to believe that it has more dimming zones, and that extra cooling means that its lighting system is completely different, more similar to the backlight master drive than whatever is out there right now. So, in conclusion, if you guys are waiting for a TV to save up for, once this $20,000 X92J drops, that one may be one of the classics from Sony because they're not revealing exactly how they're doing this, but it sounds like it's pretty phenomenal. I'm pretty impressed, and I'm kind of saddened that the Z9J cannot match it in performance. It's 85 inches. Can't you do that for the Z9J? So this is a 4K TV that has a better backlighting system than the Z9J, which is a Master Series, and this TV is not. I'm just very confused by it all because for 20,000, shouldn't it be a Master Series?
What about the I'm wondering about like that back, the driving system, whatever you called it.
The backlight master drive?
Right. And the weight of the TV, and then its commercially, like its ability to be
Mhm.
like installed or,
Yep.
provided for a customer. Is it that the 100-inch is like, you have to get that delivered and set up. So maybe they could deal with the extra weight and size of it.
Oh,
where
is
the
that it?
85
Is that?
I
I
don't
did
know.
not
I'm
know
just
that.
wondering like if the 85-inch or 75-inch, Master Series, those can just be, you could take it home and set it up yourself. I see that 100-inch is going to be hard for people to deal with. So maybe they just
Right.
said, hey, let's go all in on the 100-inch. We can afford to have it be heavier and bulkier because when people put it up, it's going to be in the position of like where a projector would be, where it doesn't matter how thin it is, it's huge.
And Classy has a great question. He was saying, hey, has Be Nice, Dwayne Davis, the calibrator of electronics, checked it out yet? And I don't know. That's a great question. I'm going to talk to Robert and actually bring in D Nice specifically to discuss this because it feels like this is a completely different TV. Whereas the Samsung QN90A 98-inch TV is literally the QN90A at 98 inches. The X92J is not literally the X90J at 100 inches, but rather a completely different TV. So I'm going to have to talk to Robert to get the specs off this TV because it does sound amazing. And, well, 100 inches, 20,000, a bit too rich for my blood, but it's cheaper than a micro LED.
Well, and also looking at now, I can kind of see why that TV is 20 when the Samsung Q90A is 15, because this looks to be a much like a higher end TV than just the Samsung Q90A is the Q90A. Now it's just 100 inches, right? And it's just a larger version. This looks like it's a good looking TV,
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Love to compare that in the 98. I'd love to have the two of them, but man, that's 35,000 in TVs to have to compare.
And
Jesus.
let's hope none of them drop off the wall. Hey, Preston.
Yeah, right. Oh, I just if
It's
it falls flat on his face and then break a 30,000. Yeah, exactly.
You know, is it
Or
funny?
one falls into the other one and breaks both of them.
Isn't it scary that you have a wall full of $30,000 equipment and the drywall is literally like $20? It's like a $20
right.
drywall with a
Hopefully
couple of
the
studs.
hopefully the carpenters were good, right?
Hey, Preston, thank you for this gratitude. FOMO, your accessories video helped me get my cheap Atmos soundbar to work. Green area of HDMI slide said after firmware update, you should disconnect HDMI and start from scratch. Yeah, so as a reminder to everyone, the HDMI connection issues is so wide ranging. So this is what I always recommend. If you guys have a firmware update and the firmware update addresses your HDMI handshake, unplug everything after the firmware update, including your TV. Unplug everything for 15 minutes, walk away, and unplug all the HDMI. It has to reset all of your capacitors because it's still holding that old handshake EDID information in whatever memory modules that are in both the TV itself and in your device. Anything connected, unplug everything, go take a walk, come back, and then reconnect. And more often than not, this helps. And it happens every 3 months. Every 3 months, everything is working and suddenly it doesn't work. Just disconnect everything, come back, because sometimes your TV is doing an auto update that you don't know about and it screws up the handshake. So
They also there used to be a process too for like connecting them, and I always did that for people. That would be my number one thing when a soundbar wouldn't work is turn your TV off, turn your receiver off or soundbar, and turn your cable box off, and then turn the TV on next, then turn the soundbar on, and then turn your cable box on, and it shoots the signal all the way through to the soundbar and it reorganizes them. So if you turn them back on in the right way with the TV first,
right,
and then the soundbar and then the cable box, it'll shoot it through. You know, your source will. But you know what, your technical, what you said is exactly true. It's like got to shake off all that information, and I was like, that was cool to listen to you say that because I didn't even think of why I was doing it. I just did it.
Yeah. Well, see, the thing is, this is for everyone. It's like we are our own troubleshooters, and that's not a good thing. And the reason I know is I spoke to a cable manufacturer, Metra, who has a bunch of great videos. Right, they specialize in making HDMI cables for the installer field, and he sat me down. He's the lead engineer there. He's like, okay, this is what happens, right? And he told me exactly what he has to do with his team, because they get calls from their $1 million clients where they finish an install and nothing works, and they have to know what to do when they get there to make sure it works again. And that's the issue. And another thing is, remember, your TV is the one driving your HDMI signal, not your device. So if your TV is driving it, the longer that cable is, the more energy that your TV needs to push on a longer cable. Over 9 feet for HDMI 2.1, get an optical active cable so that you could plug in the USB external, or the optical has a lower, it takes less energy to run it through optical than copper. But over 25 feet, you got to go with an external power USB on your TV. It's just for your TV that you paid $5,000, $3,000 for. The last thing you want is your power bus to go dead. Now that's a problem, and you're going to have to go through the whole warranty thing, right? Because the TV is not going to warn you, oh, don't use copper cables longer than blah, 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 because sometimes they don't even know. Remember, they use the cheapest power supply possible to get this TV rated. And at longer cables, that's not what they're testing on. So I learned so much through those guys. I'm like, oh man, that kind of sucks. No wonder they always use premium optical cables. Okay. A lot of super chats. Thank you, everyone. So let's run it down. Hopefully I'm not missing anyone. This is our next one, right? I didn't miss anyone in between. All right. Hey, Nicholas, thank you for the super chat. Hey, once again, I didn't get the notice you guys were live. I know what's up with that. I try to put on my channel and Brandon puts on his, and even then, YouTube just doesn't like it.
You gotta be subscribed to this channel. Make sure you go down and just click on subscribe and hit the bell to all, because this is a completely separate channel. And also, while you're doing it, just hit the like button, because we could just use it. Only have like 70 likes. In order for more people that like TVs to get this, you have to, like, if everybody likes it, then they'll start sending it out to other people and saying, hey,
Yeah,
these
that's
people are
true.
talking about something interesting, so you guys should come and look at it. You should come. So to help our channel grow, this channel specifically, just you really could hit the like button for us. That's a
That's
huge
true.
benefit.
What is it we always say? There's 190 people watching and
Yeah,
only
and only
24 likes, right?
78. Yeah,
78. Oh, actually, that's pretty good. Before it used to be
78's
5.
better. Yeah. Well, the
All
last
right.
one we did, we got more likes than we had people current, so that was even cooler because there was like
Right.
300 likes. So
That is
just
true.
different
That's
people.
awesome.
So
Hey, Nicholas, thanks for the super chat. Once again, I didn't get the notice you guys were live. Hey, can't wait to get my coffee mug and t-shirt. Thanks for buying. Thank you for supporting. Do you think OLED will improve in 2022? The only improvement I see is other models getting the heatsink, and that's for limited improvement. If you haven't caught the comparisons, Classy did a great comparison between the A90J and the A80J heatsink, non-heatsink. But ultimately, the new panels that LG put out just this year will simply be implemented next year across more sizes, and you're going to benefit from energy efficiency. So if you consider energy efficiency as an improvement, then yes, more energy efficient OLEDs. But actual image quality, I think, will be pretty much the same this year to next year, with the exceptions being LG will probably catch up a little bit closer with image processing and motion to the Sony. Sony, I don't know what more they could improve other than gaming features, right? So we all know Sony's struggle. So Sony OLED TVs hopefully will have better gaming implementation if they are using the new MediaTek chip that was announced and they have time to actually put the software together for that new MediaTek chip. And lastly, Samsung will be introducing an OLED TV, rumor mill, not QD-OLED, an actual LG display sourced OLED. If they do release an OLED next year, big question is whether it'll be any better than what we have now. I doubt it will be. At best, it's more of the same, but the improvement will be more competition is good for everyone. So, yeah, so my opinion is pick up a 2021 OLED and save some money once those come out. Hey, Shango, thank you for the super chat. Good afternoon, gentlemen. I asked KJ and Classy last night, but do you guys know if Sony is still coming out with ALLM and VRR for the A90J this month? And hey, B, XRP has done right by me, even with a D drop. All right.
yeah.
So let's hit a couple of these things here. ALM VRR for the A90J this month. I can safely tell you that if they do come out with a software this month, it'll be buggy as hell. It's just how it is. So even if they come out, it would still end up being months before you have working VRR. ALLM is not hard, right? It's just auto switching game mode. Doesn't mean that's going to work, but it should be easier. VRR is a nightmare for Sony because they have to balance that against very good image quality. The number one complaint with VRR is above 4K 60, the image quality starts to fall apart. And it took LG a couple of generations to get that right. And I think even now they have flickering issues with VRR. I mean, it's better, and it's better than anyone else out there, but it's not perfect. And how long it takes LG to get that right? The C10 and now the C1, and there's still ongoing improvements. So this is Sony's first foray into VRR. You're going to have to be patient because you will get something at best, but it's not something you're going to want to use. So, but I don't even know if you're going to get something this month. You have to remember that with the sudden rise and surge and the big O, well, that didn't sound good. the big variant, right? So Sony's engineers are in Japan. That is an issue because they have very strict lockdown policies when these things get out of control. So if there's any delays, it would not surprise me that it's delayed further because of that. So just don't get a Sony if you want a game, man.
Right now, two of the best teams in college football are playing each other: Alabama and Georgia. Alabama and Georgia. And they're both really good defensive teams. So I bet you guys can guess the score so far.
Let me 3-6.
0-0.
That's awesome.
Punt.
That's
they're these teams.
And-
this is going to be a good game. It's probably the
and
only
Georgia.
SEC game I care about.
Now in the SEC, doesn't Georgia have one of the most prolific offenses anyway? I mean,
Their
have a solid-
defense. Their
this year's
defense is
Okay.
world. I mean, their defense is like NFL
Georgia?
ready. the whole
Wow.
defense. Yeah.
Wow.
And so, but both these teams are solid. This could be a low scoring game. It could be, I don't know. I don't see Alabama scoring a ton of points on Georgia. So Alabama better keep it close. But this is for all the marbles here, because if Georgia loses, then I don't know. I don't really know what happens. It'll blow up the top 4, because then Cincinnati or Michigan, I don't know. It's going to be tough. There's a lot of big games today.
I'm definitely rooting for Georgia to win, only because we see Alabama in the national championship playoff every
Agreed.
year, and Georgia, they've really paid their dues in the SEC, man. They've come so close, and it's good to see change.
There's like 7 teams that could make it still too, because Notre Dame, Oklahoma State.
I would love for Notre Dame to make it, just because once Notre Dame makes it, and Brian Kelly isn't there, and then if they win it all,
what if they won it all with the defensive coordinator? That'd be
without
awesome.
Brian Kelly, that's the perfect story, right? Because he got his paycheck and they get their prestige.
And they would do it with the Wisconsin quarterback that we threw away, which would make me even more angry, because they got rid of Jack Cohn. They put Cohn. Right. They let Mertz start, and Mertz had a terrible year.
Hey, Eric, thanks. You just woke up from a nap, and luckily you caught this live stream. Hey, that's why we're here, right? Wake up from your nap and catch us, and let's talk some TVs. Love it. I would not mount a 200-pound TV. Is that how much it weighed? Is that what you said, Brandon? Is that 100-inch TV is 200 pounds?
I don't know how much it weighs. It looks like it weighs more than 200, to be honest.
I think it's 225 or definitely between 200 and 250. But
they have those big handles. You're going to need like 4 people to hang that sucker.
I agree. I think you're going to have to need a special mount, because all the mounts that I've seen are not rated for more than 150. Or no,
I think this has some sort of mount where you, it's a kind of a flat mount that it's like specifically made for this TV.
Yeah.
But it would look pretty cool with that Master Drive. Like it's flat up against the wall. It's intense. It's a big ass TV. It's huge. Oklahoma State did lose. So wait, so nobody in the Big 12 is in, or what? I didn't see that.
Oh, who did Oklahoma State lose to?
Texas to Baylor.
Baylor.
To Baylor.
You know what that means? They partied too hard. After their victory over Oklahoma, they partied, and that's what happens with teams that are inexperienced with being on the top. You win, and suddenly you can't act. You've been there, and everything falls apart.
They lost 21-16.
Oh, that's not even close then.
They kicked a field goal in the 4th. They must have probably got the ball back to try, but yeah, they were down 21-6 at half. That doesn't help. But yeah, they're number 5, so they're out. So now check this out. If even if Michigan loses, or if I don't think if Georgia beats Alabama, I don't think Notre Dame goes all the way up, do they? I don't know. We'll see. I don't know what
I think Notre Dame will rise then. Oklahoma State
they're
out.
6.
Yeah.
So Oklahoma State's out, so they're 5. So who has to lose in the top 4? Because like right now, Alabama's 3. If Alabama loses to Georgia, you think that they're going to leapfrog Notre Dame in? Because Alabama had 2 losses. Notre Dame would have 1 loss.
I think Notre Dame, with their reputation, and remember, a lot of this is audience draw. You're going to get a larger audience with a 1-loss Notre Dame team than a 2-loss Georgia team. Although the entire SEC will be watching, that's not good enough.
Well, it's going to be that, like, who is better? Does Alabama look better, or who has the best record? I would probably say that Notre Dame would make it. Yeah.
You always want Notre Dame if you can get one in. I've seen that so many times. So this is a great question, because I definitely have a strong opinion about this. Is the 77-inch A80J $500 better than the C10 at $2,500? So the $2,500 C10, in my opinion, is a great deal. However, as a cinema movie enthusiast, I had the C10 against the A9G, and its motion for me was not good enough. And the A80J motion is at least as good as the A9G, if not better. Its upscaling is definitely better than the C10. Just on those two, image processing, that's $500 better for me. And then you add in color accuracy out of the box. For a cinema enthusiast, that closes the deal. However, if I'm a gaming enthusiast, then the C10 all day long. And that's it. I mean, where else would I need to go? C10, 4K 120, VRR, Dolby Vision gaming. If that's a thing, Kasi doesn't like it. I don't like it. But hey, you could check the box, right? A80J, forget gaming. It is a movie purist OLED, and it's $500 more. So if you're sensitive to motion, it's worth it. If you don't care, C10 is phenomenal all around OLED, especially if you think, gaming is important, right? Series X, PC gaming, whatever. So, but great question.
Yeah. And I think you really can't lose there either, because those are both really good TVs. And I think it's still underestimated to people that are past the whole burn-in situation. Like, yes, could you get burn-in? You could. But I think that people don't realize how good these OLED TVs are. They're all really good.
Oh, the C9, if the 77-inch was still available, I'd recommend that.
Yeah.
The C9 is actually brighter than the C1. Not many of you know that, but which means that the
but we love our
C1
C10,
Oh, we love it. Yeah, and C1, right? But the reason why the C9 was brighter is that you wanted to make sure there is no burn-in, like definitely no burn-in. How do you do that? Make it less bright. The C9, there was a, let's see, Technodad, right? China has an E9, 850 nits or almost 900 nits of peak brightness. That's insane. You're not going to see that in a G1 even, right? You got to really push it to get it that high. So LG is definitely fine-tuning its TV to make sure it doesn't have burn-in, because people aren't noticing that 100 nit difference when it's that bright anyway.
We're getting our Christmas tree today after this.
A bit rate snob. That's what we all are, aren't we? I mean, at the end, if you keep on watching us enough, you end up being snobs. I think this is what happens to enthusiasts. It's like suddenly you are so OCD about the little things that you actually start noticing it. But that's what makes it fun for all of us in this channel. Outside of it, if you're getting it for your mom, TCL 5 series, as long as it works all day long, right? But for us, I can't go there. So yeah, that's a very good comment there. I'm such a snob. It's so true. And the OLED snobs are the worst, right? Because once you see those blacks, you can't go back. It's so hard.
But that's why I tell people, if they're debating between two OLEDs, I'm just like, trust me, you're going to win either way, because they're really, really good. Yeah, get the cheaper one. Get the gaming one if you're a gamer. Get the movie one if you're a movie watcher. A lot of people have been having this question about the native apps on the Sony, and they were saying, like, can you get eARC? And I wasn't getting Dolby Vision, or I can't get Dolby Atmos on my eARC enabled soundbar. And so I ran some tests. I just basically I checked with mine, and I am getting all of that with the native apps. So I think when people don't see like Disney Plus on their internal app, it's saying that it only has 5.1. I think it's because they don't have the eARC enabled properly, because it shows up, and it came all the way through to my Sonos Arc, and it said on the Sonos Arc, on the Sonos app, it said Dolby Atmos right on it.
And so let's clear. So that's a great point. So I want to help clear everyone up. I was hoping to hit this in my accessories video, and I'm going to repeat it here again. eARC does not mean Atmos exclusive to eARC. Regular ARC has Atmos as well. So Atmos is in both. What eARC allows you to do is do lossless, right? That means Dolby True HD. But Dolby True HD is only available on Blu-ray discs or Kaleidoscape, some high-end digital format that is not streaming. All streaming uses Dolby Digital Plus, which means eARC is completely pointless. Completely. If you are streaming an internal app off of your TV and sending it to your soundbar, eARC only helps with two things. One, possibly a better handshake, and two, possibly better lip syncing. That's it. As far as Atmos and audio quality is concerned, it's identical to ARC. Only handshake and the lip sync. That's it.
So why do you think it's doing that then? Or why is it showing 5.1 on someone's enabled soundbar and mine shows it Atmos?
That's a whole different. See, that's the handshake issue we're talking about. So this is what I've been telling people: turn off ARC or eARC. Try that. If it shows 5.1 on ARC, absolutely fine. If you don't notice any lip sync issues, you're getting a Dolby Atmos because it's on a soundbar, right? On a soundbar, the difference between Atmos and 5.1 is indistinguishable. Just get the surround feel. play with the
Well, yeah, but
eARC
what I'm trying to
enablement and
say is
not.
that they have it like on mine. It shows on the apps. It says
Uh-huh.
Dolby Atmos. Like on the screen, it
Oh, on the
shows the
screen it
Dolby
says that.
Atmos
Right.
logo on like the Disney Plus like movie. So you're watching a Disney Plus movie. It says Atmos and Vision. They're saying that theirs they only see 5.1 because
Okay.
what happens is your internal app is checking your soundbar and saying I can't give it to you because you don't have Atmos. But I checked mine on the internal apps, just like my Apple TV, and they're both showing Atmos. They both play Atmos. It's all working fine. But I have a lot of people hit me up and say the Sonys, they show 5.1 on their app because for some reason they're not getting that eARC or they're not getting the
So
Atmos.
the question for them is this: if they unplug their soundbar, are they still getting non-Atmos? Because they're supposed. Okay, so if that's the case, by unplugging the soundbar, they should get Atmos, right?
Right. You should show it back up on the screen and say
Yep, it
now it's
should.
available.
Right. So if that is the problem, by unplugging the soundbar, do the whole thing, unplug the soundbar, turn off your TV, blah blah blah. If it does not show Atmos, that means your TV setting is wrong and it's not the eARC connection. If it does indeed show Atmos and then you plug it back in, the Atmos disappears, then yes, there's an
Well,
issue
what
on the
about
soundbar
that?
side.
What about the enhanced HDMI? Is that why? Is the format if it's in standard HDMI? Could that be a reason?
This is why
Well,
I'm
no,
telling
but that's
people.
an internal app though. That's an
Well,
external
the
app.
so the
Though.
internal app is reading your enhanced your enhanced ARC is a
Mhm.
TV setting. By turning it off, you're dropping it back to regular ARC, and regular ARC is
Mhm.
Atmos capable. That's what a lot of
Right.
people don't realize. So try that. Unplug all your soundbars and just play with toggling the enhanced ARC and not enhanced to see if that helps. If one of them brings back Dolby Atmos, keep it whatever that setting is, and then plug your soundbar back in. And then if it disappears, it's the soundbar, if that helps. But yeah, see, this is what upsets me is there's a standard out there, and the device drivers on both sides are not talking. That's a handshake issue
Oh yeah,
that we
there's a
talk
lot of
about.
that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and if the soundbar doesn't get a firmware update, guess what? Now it's up to the TV manufacturer to hopefully create a firmware update specifically for that soundbar. And if they don't, no compatibility ever. You will have to return the soundbar and get a new one. But don't worry about it, because if it's a soundbar, you're not going to get Atmos anyway. So that's another thing I have to tell people. It doesn't matter. It's a soundbar. You're okay as long as you get the 0.1 feed to your subwoofer. Getting
Yeah,
a
but
0.1
I
feed.
like having a little bit of upward sound. It's not tremendous, but
Well,
like
you
I
got the
have.
good stuff. You got the good stuff. I'm
Yeah,
talking
that's
to
what they
normal
mean.
people,
They
right?
mean they want it because they have Atmos enabled
Mm-hmm.
soundbars. So it's like it's just like if you have a OLED and then you can't get Dolby Vision, it's
Yeah.
not that big a deal really, but people still want it. They're like, why is my TV not showing Dolby Vision? Someone pointed out that the recent, check the other apps because sometimes the updates break Atmos, and I
Yes.
haven't done a recent update. I do have auto updates, but
Yep.
I'm going to do that tonight, Tempo. I will check it out because I want to break it so that I can then fix it, and then I can tell people what the exact fix is, like FOMO's doing here.
Well, I'll tell you right now, my Chromecast Google TV, that little white thing that I plug in, my
Mhm.
Netflix HDR is broken. So I have to go into the Sony settings and find out, wait, I can't even watch Netflix. The content won't even show up. It'll say something like, this content is not available. But if I watch SDR content on Netflix, I can watch it. I cannot watch any HDR content on Netflix right now. So I have to go into the the TV, the Sony A90J, and the X95J. They both have the same problem. So I think it's a Google TV / Sony settings issue that I don't have correct. And I'm plugging it into HDMI. So I'm like, because I know my Netflix internal app is working. I get Dolby Vision HDR fine, but my Chromecast Google TV isn't. So it's a nightmare. It's like I have to deal with it too.
This is the real solution. Just get an Apple TV because I have that, and that's the bomb. I
agree.
actually need a couple more Apple TVs. I hated the middle remote. I like the first remote. I like the newest remote. I hated that glass slider remote. So I got to get a couple of those. Hey,
Yeah.
and also, by the way, we have to talk about a prize for the winner of our fantasy football too.
Oh yeah, I know.
I forgot about it.
I didn't win for sure.
Well, I don't. Yeah, and we weren't going to give you a prize anyways, you or me. Like, if I
Right.
win, then the prize goes to second place or whatever.
Right.
But But we got to figure out. I have a few TVs sitting around here, but it's one of those logistics things. But we'll have to figure something out. Maybe I think some of the people are in the chat here that are in our team that have a team on our thing. Let us know, guys, what you think, Brad and Andy and whoever else. What prizes are we giving away here?
Yep. Hey, now for those with the Apple TV, here's something that Classy brought up because I want everyone to think about this. And you have the Apple TV. My Apple TV is in storage, so I can't test this. But Classy is saying that he cannot turn off Dolby Vision on his Apple TV because Netflix Dolby Vision kind of screws up Sony's tone mapping. Sony tone mapping looks better on Netflix with straight HDR. Is there a way for you guys to turn off Dolby Vision and give Netflix straight up HDR to the Sony because it will look better in most Netflix Dolby Vision content? It's either too dark, too bright, or screwed up colors. So that's something, if you guys know, let me know because I don't think you could disable Dolby Vision straight up on the Apple TV. Now, maybe I'm wrong. On the Google TV Chromecast, you can. I just didn't know about Apple TV because a lot of people with Sony TVs, they're having trouble with their Dolby Vision. Like, wait, I had this calibrated. It looks terrible. What happened? All right. So how long do we have you for? I have to head out probably about 5 minutes. So I don't know if
That's
you...
fine, man. No,
All
we
right.
can go. I
Okay,
got
cool.
I got football to watch, and I got a Christmas tree to get, and
Yeah.
I'm sure everyone that's watching who's so kind to grace us with their presence have things to do too. But
Yeah,
ask us
it's
any
the
questions you guys
holidays.
got real quick. Maybe we can do a rapid fire, super fast answering questions. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Classy and I are in agreement that Dolby Vision streaming is a problem. It is not the same quality consistency as Blu-ray Dolby Vision. So I actually talked to Stacy Spears about this. After our conversation, Classy, I reached out to Stacy. Hey, Stacy, since you're at it, what's up with this streaming Dolby Vision? He's like, wow, that's a great point. So he's going to look into this as well. And he doesn't know the answer either. So hopefully by the time he gets out his new updated Blu-ray benchmark disc and we bring him on, we will have enough information to discuss this Dolby Vision streaming inconsistency because that's something that concerns all of us, that we're expecting a certain quality from Dolby Vision that we're seeing in Blu-ray, not seeing it in Netflix streaming, that's for sure. Other than Sweet Tooth, right, Classy? Sweet Tooth appears to be the one well-graded one in Dolby Vision.
And just by the way, if anyone is going to check out the new HBO Max Christmas special or movie or show, whatever it is, make sure you don't watch the little preview with your kids because I thought it was rated PG and it was rated R. And it's like this Seth Rogen and Sarah Silverman Christmas special. So right off the bat, they're like, oh, let's make these toys for these effing kids. And I'm like, oh my God, my kids were listening and we thought it was like a new show, but it's called Santa Incorporated. But it's Sarah Silverman and Seth Rogen, and it's a mini series, and it's like all swearing and stuff. So I was like, oh crap.
The
so
minute
my
you see
kids
Sarah
both,
Silverman,
they were like, whoa, cover the ears. It's pretty funny.
That's funny.
Yeah, I didn't see who was in it before I started pressing play.
Hey, Henry, thank you for this comment, and here's the answer. You cannot disable Dolby Vision on Apple TV. You can only force it to play everything in HDR, but then your SDR content will be off. Yeah, so nothing is perfect out there, guys. Just play around with what you have. And I have to say, I don't believe Dolby expected that the TV makers would do so well with tone mapping that you don't need Dolby Vision to fix anything for you. Straight up HDR10 and the TV tone mapping on the good TVs, right? We're talking X90J and above, Samsung QN98, QN85 type of stuff. The good TVs, man, they're doing a phenomenal job with tone mapping. You don't need Dolby Vision. And so I think Samsung had it right. As good as Dolby Vision is for the average TV, for flagship TVs, unnecessary.
Yeah, but it's still going to be the standard. So don't you think they'll just fix it though? I mean, or they'll make it easier to use or what?
You would think. We'll see. I mean, because this is, I'd say, the first year that Dolby Vision content on Netflix is becoming wide. Like everything released on Netflix this year has a Dolby Vision filter. I'm going to call it a filter, right? A Dolby Vision filter that is kind of screwing things up. So we'll see. Hey, Rockhurst. My parents bought the Sony A80J from Amazon, and the delivery company stole it. this is the classic Amazon nightmare story. Have you heard about the guy that paid $3,000 for a Sony camera and got a brick? And it happened twice. And so Amazon thought he was just lying. It happens, man. Hey, I'm so sorry, Rockhurst. This is terrible. But dude, this is happening. Like, it doesn't matter what it is, right? Make sure when you guys are ordering stuff from Amazon, you have a few days to confirm delivery. And if you don't get delivery, start the complaint immediately.
Oh yeah,
and
I had
make
the
a lot
same
of
issue.
noise.
And,
Oh, you
and
did?
you know what?
What'd you lose?
You know,
What'd you lose?
Amazon's they mishandled my qned return.
Yeah.
It was
Wow.
like it got shipped back and then they lost it and then it got redelivered at my house and then I had to ship it back a second time and it got lost again. And TVs for some reason are a little problematic, but the good news is Amazon has a lot of money and if you just say, give me my money back or I'm going to, you know, force the credit card, they'll refund you and then they'll find it. So don't worry.
That's a great point. Credit card. Buy with a credit card, not your debit card. Credit card.
I mean, even debit cards will technically do the same kind of thing. Like, you know, if you have a debit card from a major company, they'll give you the benefit of the doubt to start and then they'll research, but they'll temporarily credit you. It's a little different process with a bank than a credit card, of course, but yeah.
And I think this is a great response to our Apple TV question. This is how you get HDR without Dolby Vision. Set the Apple TV settings to 4K 60 HDR with frame rate match turned on, and then dynamic range match turned off. Now, everything will be forced into HDR10. So when he says everything, right, that includes SDR. But if you guys are enjoying HDR anyway, the TV will tone map it without the Dolby Vision mess up. So for those who don't want Dolby Vision on Netflix, this is the way to go. Thanks, Jimmy.
Cool. Well, if you have to go, man, you know.
Gotta run. But hey, do you want to finish up or you want to hang on? I don't want to.
No, I'm going to go too. You know, we can maybe hear what's the number one game changer for soundbar. You need Atmos audio, Dolby audio.
Subwoofer.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Subwoofer.
I would get a 3.1 with a subwoofer way over any Atmos. Who cares? Who cares?
Yep.
You just need sound coming directly out at you. TV speakers suck, you know.
For right now, for $149, the Hisense HS219, that's a great basic soundbar with a sub for under $150. I love it. I think it has everything you need. It's great reviews. It's compatible. It does what you need it to do. It doesn't do anything crazy, and the price is just great right now. It's $149 on Best Buy. Check it out. It's the Hisense, or actually it's $129, I think. It's really a great starter one. Before I used to recommend Amazon specials, but now that Hisense has raised their game and lowered the price on these things, just go with the Hisense from Best Buy and you don't have to worry about returns or anything like that. So yeah, game changer, subwoofer. Second game changer is getting something with rear speakers, and that would be the Q60 on Amazon. The Samsung Q60 is the cheapest TV you can get with rear speakers for about $350. So for 3 times more than that Hisense, you get the rear speakers. That's the other game changer. Forget the eARC and all that stuff. That gives you surround. That also is a game changer. All right. Okay, everybody. Is it a good time to sign off, buddy?
Yeah.
It is.
Cool,
okay.
Man. Hey,
all right.
Nice to see you guys. Thank you, everyone. Hit the like. Make sure if you want to leave a comment or something, I'll check the comments later. We'll, answer them out, and have a great weekend, everyone.
Yeah, and if you didn't catch a deal today, there's going to be more deals by the new year for sure.
Oh yeah, we're definitely. Right? I think we're gonna do. Yeah, there's going to be some Super Bowl deals on the big TVs. I think there's going to be some big Super Bowl deals this year.
Once the year changes, and we'll have CES specials and stuff. So definitely tune in. Until next time.
All right.
Pass the remote, everybody.